Hello everyone, it's me, Maya, and welcome to my channel. I recently saw Miracles from Heaven, which was this amazing movie about this little girl who had a chronic disorder, illness, and she was healed by falling headfirst into a hollow tree. And I thought it was an amazing movie. It was so heartbreaking and heart touching, but it was cool to see God's power and just see how He's just working through the people around us, and that the people around us are essentially our miracles. What I wanted to do today was recommend some other movies with strong Christian themes and morals, just in case anyone out there is looking for a good Christian movie. I've always been a little bit wary of it, even as a Christian, because some of the Christian movies that I've seen tend to be either too preachy or too poorly done. Not to be meant offensively, just that's kind of my opinion on the matter. But recently I found a lot of good movies out there that are just like, these movies are amazing. So I thought I'd recommend a lot of them to you today. The first movie is God's Not Dead. It's about this college student who enters into this philosophy course. And the philosophy teacher gives them an assignment. And their whole assignment is to write on a piece of paper, God's not dead. And originally I was just like, how can a teacher be allowed to do that? But there's actually a counter assignment where either you write God's not dead or prove that he's alive. And you have to see that movie because the research they did into the philosophical proof of God and just the natural proof and the scientific proof, they spent so much time on the research. It was also amazing to see how this one college student stand against what the teacher wanted him to do kind of helped all these other people around him sort of stand up for God as well. So it's a really great movie to check out. The next movie I want to talk about is Woodlawn. It was about this football team in this very racist city, and it's all about how I want to say he's a sports chaplain who came in to try to ease the tension between these two races because it was right when they were going to be integrating the schools. So it's the role that Christ played in kind of bringing these kids together. The whole team comes to Christ, and then also the coach, how there's just so much movement of, okay, Christ is first, and if we win, everyone else is going to see how powerful God is. And it's like, oh my God, I usually don't do sports movies. Well, no, I don't do sports. I love sports movies. And this is a really cool football movie where like you're on the edge of the seat as the running back or tailback or whatever he's called is like running towards the field goal or whatever, and I'm gonna get all of these terms wrong, but please forgive me. But I just thought that one was cool too, and it's really, I love all these movies because it's the being a Christian part is only a part of it. It's not preaching to you that you have to be a Christian and that's the only way to live. It's kind of telling you that here are these people who are going through these normal issues. It's almost like how they deal with their issues because of their faith. Like, how are they getting through this because of their faith? It's not telling you you have to believe or you're going to die. It's, okay, let's show you what it's like for these people. And I find it so refreshing because I think Christianity has always been painted in a bad light because there's always these more outspoken people who feel like God said this and Jesus said this, and it's just like, Jesus is love. God is love. We should be loving each other. We shouldn't be bashing each other, just in general, whatever your religion is. I don't really want to preach in this video. I just want to make some movie recommendations. The next movie, I'm sure you've all heard of it, The War Room. It's about this couple who are struggling, and then the woman in the couple meets this older woman who kind of teaches the younger woman to fight for her marriage in prayer. If you are ever having trouble learning how to pray and how to really go for God for what you need, check out that movie because that definitely helped me get into a better habit of praying and learning how to pray and learning how to fight in prayer. It's cool to see her journey of stuff that used to tick her off about her husband, she just stopped being upset about it because, God fixed her heart and all that other stuff. The next movie is The Song, which was based off of the Song of Solomon. And I was so amazed by the parallels between the Song of Solomon and this movie. There's this musician whose father went with, I don't want to, if you know the Song of Solomon and you know the story of David, you can kind of guess what's going to happen. But I was just so amazed at the parallels and how the Solomon character had his fall from glory and how he tried to keep on working back. All this issues this guy got himself into, but you can learn the story because of this movie. But the parallels just blew my mind because I was I was pausing movies like, wait, this happened. Oh my god, that happened too. It was cool to see how true they were to the story. The next one is probably one of my favorites. It's called Belle and the Beast, and it's a Christian retelling of Beauty and the Beast, where Belle is this devout Christian. She's really sweet and she's really nice. And then the Beast is Eric Landry, and he is this powerful businessman, and everyone calls him the Beast. But what people don't know is that this guy used to be a Christian and he used to love the Lord, but then his wife passed away. So and then he turned into an alcoholic, and then he lost his business. So he had this fall from grace as well. And it was him working back, and he definitely stopped trusting people. You can also see how God fixes people's hearts in this movie because it's because of Belle and her Christian morals and how she's standing behind her beliefs. She's like, you know what, you're not going to disrespect me. And it's a cute little love story where Belle and the Beast get together, and it's just like, of course, there's pitfalls and there's anger and there's just Eric has to work through his issues, but this, when they finally come together, it's just, I love a good romance story, and this one is definitely a good one. The next one I want to talk about is The Perfect Stranger. There's actually two movies. There's The Perfect Stranger 1 and then the sequel. But I prefer the first one, and it's all about how I think she was a Christian, but she's a lawyer now, and she gets this invite for dinner, and it ends up being Jesus. So he's in this business suit, he's got his hair all nice, and so through that whole conversation, she literally is able to have a conversation with Jesus about her faith and everything that's going on. But I love it because as I said before, it's not a preachy movie. It's like, I am Jesus and I'm going to smite you down because you know about this issues in your company. It's okay. Everyone has probably thought about, okay, if I were to see Jesus right now, what would I ask him? What would we talk about? What would happen? And I think this movie and the sequel sort of explores, okay, if Jesus was sitting in front of you right now, what would you do? And of course, in the beginning, she thinks it's a prank, like, who put you up to this? But it's cool how she's kind of got through it, and she kind of learned a lot about her faith. I love how most of these movies are really feel good, makes you feel good about yourself, makes you happy. I love that. I'm a big sucker for those really cutesy wootsy movies. I think I have two more movies, and I'm almost out of time. The first movie is A Walk to Remember. It was originally a Nicholas Sparks book, and this rough and tough bad boy falls in love with the preacher's daughter. That's the gist of the story. And it's basically how her love transforms him into an upstanding gentleman, basically, but of course I'm kind of glossing over a lot of the other issues that happen throughout the movie, but it's really another question of God's transformative love. That was a good way to put it. And how the people that are placed in our lives, the miracles, like I said before in Miracles from Heaven, they're all here to help us grow and to make us more and make us better. So you can see that a lot in these movies, excuse me. A Walk to Remember is another really cute romance. I think there's other couple of romances that I might have glossed over, but overall, really good movies. And the last movie is The Fabric of a Man, which is actually a stage play by David E. Talbert. He does a lot of Christian stage plays. or gospel stage plays, same diff kind of. And this one is all about where this up and coming fashion designer who has this she businessy boyfriend. She meets this other not down on his luck, but like this little lower up and coming fashion creator, and he is Christian, and he's kind of not kind of a thug, but he looks on the surface like he's a little bit thuggish, but she kind of learns to not really judge people by their outward appearances. You need to look at what they're made of, what their fabric is, and if their designer is God and not the other guy. So I thought it's another cool romance. I love, if you haven't guessed already, I love romances, and I love how these stories are just. It's almost like you don't, when you're watching it, you don't think you're looking at a Christian movie. It's almost like you don't think you're about to learn a lesson when you walk away. You just kind of watch it and take it as is, and then you walk away and like, wait, I learned something. What? So I definitely suggest you check all these movies out. Please tell me what you think of them if you have seen any of them before. I hope you have enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button. Also subscribe if you'd like more, and I'll see you next time. Bye, guys.